All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Aaron, and in today's video, I want to do a continued analysis on exactly where we are in this bear market. A couple of questions need to be answered. For instance, is this a real volume increase? Well, if this is a real volume increase, are we in the accumulation phase? Was this the bottom? What's next? All that and more. As you can see, got a couple cool charts. I don't think you've seen these before. Let's talk about the data that this shows. Also, before we get into things, I do want to take a second to thank our sponsor, stake.com. Link is in the description. Use the link to see exactly what I'm seeing. Stake.com is a online gaming website where you can wager real cryptocurrency. They are fast, they are fun, and they are provably fair, and they take great pride in the fact they have the lowest house edge in the world. So you can see it, 1% edge, 1% edge, 2.7 edge, 0.5% edge. My personal favorite games are Plinko and Mines. If you want to support the channel, use the link in the description. Tell me your favorite games. This will be interesting. Let's move on. So a little bit of a follow-up video from one we did a week ago. Something big is happening with Bitcoin and it speaks volumes. A lot of people viewed that. A lot of people liked it. Basically what I told you, or I showed you rather, that on coinmarketcap.com, you can see Bitcoin's volume has steadily been increasing, especially within these last few months, which is very different from where we were last year in 2018 at this perceived $6,000 bottom. The volume we're seeing today is significantly greater than back then. And for me, this was a huge indicator that the charts are changing, the sentiment is changing, the people, whales, institutions, they're recognizing these low prices, this underbought market, and they're scooping up these coins. For me, this told me potentially that smart money was accumulating at these prices. Boom. Done. Case closed. Well, not so fast. Although, at the time when I released this video, many people found value in it, many people liked it. Many others commented saying, hey, CoinMarketCap, they measure exchange volume and, there's a lot of wash trading on exchanges, so the volume measurement is unreliable. This is inconclusive. We need more info. Okay. Thought about it, took your comments to heart, and today I want to go a little further. We need to know as much as we can. In today's video, I want to analyze on-chain volume, as in the amount of Bitcoin being moved on-chain. Let's take a look. First chart, Bitcoin network momentum. So let me show you what we're looking at here. This top line, this orange line, this is Bitcoin's price history through the years, since all the way back in the beginning to where we are right now, 2019. So you can see 2017 bull run, and then this bear market that we've been in for the past year or so. Now, this red line, this is the amount of Bitcoins being moved on-chain. This is the on-chain volume. The exact definition of the Bitcoin momentum, which is what this is showing. Network momentum looks into the value transmitted through the Bitcoin blockchain denominated in Bitcoin value plotted against Bitcoin's price. It serves as a leading indicator of Bitcoin bull markets. Sufficiently high levels of value throughput are needed to drive bull markets. We can see that a certain level of on-chain volume needs to be maintained in order to drive these bull markets. And we see these same patterns in momentum with the same patterns of bull and bearish cycles. So let's just analyze the 2014 bear market. A lot of people compare where we are today with that of 2014. So let's see what happened. Well, as soon as the on-chain volume really took a major dip and didn't recover, we see the bear market started. So the bear market was lowering and correcting and crashing and correcting as we had, very little on-chain transaction, at least compared to the bull market cycle. Now take a look at this. All of a sudden, after so much time passes, we see a momentum uptick. A lot of people were starting to accumulate at this time. A lot more people were transacting at this time. But despite this, we see this uptick, but we still are in this bear market. We're still in a downtrend as far as the price is concerned. Now, what you'll notice is as soon as we get above a certain point that is now deemed, the bull market cycle, we see this transaction volume being above a certain point for a very long time, this is when the uptrend in price starts. And despite this huge volume throughput we see right here, we're still relatively low in 2015 and we're just barely going up in price. But nevertheless, we continue to go up in price as long as we are above this bull market cycle. Then you see at the very beginning, 2018, We drop in transaction volume, and we've been in this low ever since, but wait, now take a look at this. Ever since we dropped from $6,000 to $3,000, we saw a major uptick in volume. And we can see that where we are right now is higher than where we spent most of 2018. So going back to 2014, it's possible that where we are right now, we're seeing this uptick in momentum, which would mean that the next phase is a bull market cycle, where it doesn't mean parabolic bull run, but it would just mean a general uptrend. Still kind of early to tell. I mean, nevertheless, the on-chain volume is real. All right, next chart. Bitcoin price model. So again, we see this blue line. This is Bitcoin's price history through the years. Then I took away all the other indicators except for this orange line, which is Bitcoin's realized value. So it's the average price that the entire market bought their Bitcoin for at any given time. I think that's the definition down here. The value of all the coins in circulation at the price they last moved. In other words, an approximation of the value paid for all coins in circulation by Coinmetrics. So what's interesting about this? Well, what I found interesting about this is that you can see here, ever since late 2018, when we seemingly capitulated from 6,000 to 3,100. We fell below the realized value, and we've been below it for the last few months since. Now, we are very close to popping back up above. Well, what happened the last two times when Bitcoin fell below the realized value? We see one here in 2014, 2015 bear market, and again in the 2011, 2012 bear market. So we see that in 2011, 2012, Bitcoin, the bubble crashed and we fell below the realized value. We double bottomed, and then eventually, starting in 2012, we popped back up. And once we popped back up above the realized value, kind of acted as support at that point. So we kind of like stayed with it for a little while until eventually we never went below it again. And then in 2014, 2015, we see that Bitcoin was correcting for a long time. Eventually in 2015, this was the exact capitulation of the bear market. We fell below it, and we stayed below it. It was major resistance. We tried to break above, and eventually in late 2015, we did break above it, and we never fell below it since. Well, except for this new bear market, and now we are below it, and we are trying to break out. So the thing is, once we break out, that could be a very bullish sign. So what is the takeaway from these two graphs? I mean, what should I gain from this video? That's the question. Before we get into takeaways, let me just recommend, because the guy who did this research, the guy who put together this data, his name is Willy Woo. He has plenty of other graphs and charts like this that analyzes Bitcoin's data in a number of different ways. I'm going to leave links to this stuff in the description. But this guy's thing, he does on-chain data analysis, does general market analysis, TA. I follow him on Twitter. I think he's he's the guy you should follow in this space. But anyway, what are the takeaways? So, is on-chain transaction volume really up? Yes, most definitely it is. We can see that right here. Now, is accumulation going on? I would say yes. We can see that after the price took a major dip, this capitulation of sorts, we see just the on-chain volume skyrocket. All these big spikes. To me, this indicates that people, whether it's people or whales or institutions, they are scooping up these coins. And even where we are right now, the volume is still just generally up from where it was before. People are still accumulating. Now, does that mean we're in accumulation phase? That's harder to say. Well, if that were true, that would mean that the bottom would have been in late 2018 at 3,100. It's inconclusive at this point, but it is possible, right? It is possible that this was bottom at this point. I know there's people in the comments going, definitely not bottom. And then there's probably some people in the comments going, yes, that was bottom. Now, either way, the numbers don't lie, right? Where we are today is greater levels than where we were down here. And keep this in mind as well. Like I said, this information is from Willy Woo. He actually talked about this stuff on Tone Vase's channel the other day. Now I'm bringing it to you guys, and regardless how you feel about Tone Vase, keep in mind, I like Tone Vase, but keep in mind Willy Woo is a different guy than Tone Vase. He has different thoughts, and what he said regarding this data that I just brought to you right now, he said that according to him, right now, there is a 66% probability that we are past bottom, and that right now we're in the accumulation mode / the sideways price action / the beginning of the uptrend. And he's also looking forward to see if we can get above this realized value. Now, on the other hand, 66% positive means that there's still that 33% probability that we have more to fail. I mean, either way, the data is seeming to indicate that more and more people are scooping up these coins. And guess that's it. I guess we'll leave it here. We're looking to see if this price gets above the realized value. If this could happen, I'd say it's very possible we'd be in the beginning of an uptrend, like we've seen plenty of times in the past. Here's the thing, guys. Let's think bigger picture. We are all early adopters of this technology, of this new money. Many people see in 2017, this is the first time that a lot of people across the globe really got Bitcoin cemented in their minds for the first time. And over this past year and a half, and probably for the next couple years, people know about Bitcoin. Well, now they're going to start really figuring out Bitcoin's true value, as in they're going to learn that Bitcoin's not just digital money, which is what everybody thought originally. No, Bitcoin is the hardest money the world has ever had. It is unprintable. It is unconfiscatable. And given the nature about how technology and stuff like this finds adoption, this S-curve, right, where it starts off like this, up very quickly, almost vertical, and then again like this, and we can see this happens to a lot of different technologies. So considering that, and the fact that it took 10 years, and now we have 1% of the world's population knowing about Bitcoin, we are still in the early days. We are still at the beginning of an S-curve. So it took 10 years for Bitcoin to reach 1% adoption. This kind of stuff compounds exponentially. If we're really looking for global adoption, if this really is going to be an S-curve like the TV or electricity, in the next 10 years, it's not going to get to 2%. In the next 10 years, it's going to get above 50% adoption. I think this may be the last couple years where we can be early adopters. And then after that point, what's after early adopters? Well, whatever that is. All right, that is it for me, my friends. Is there anything else from you? Did find a couple of cool little pictures. They say patience is a virtue. Funny how things work out. This is a tweet from 2011. Well, Bitcoin has stabilized at almost exactly $14 per coin. I'm tired of waiting for a jump, so I'm taking the loss and getting my cash back. Oh, tough loss, Tom. Next up, Greg from 2011. I wish I had kept my 1,700 Bitcoin at 6 cents instead of selling them at 30 cents now that they're $8. Greg. And finally, all right, this is pretty cool for me to see because I live in Los Angeles. Well, just 2 hours south of me, local San Diego gas station has a big sign out front now accepting Bitcoin, 40 cents off per gallon. That is a pretty big deal. This guy is planning for the future. Oh, this pic was posted a few months ago. Whatever, still cool. 40 per gallon is a lot. Good for him, good for Bitcoin. Okay, that's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow.